G'day guys, Jaydon here from Abraham's Fortune Wellness Center, sharing a little bit about where I'm at today. We're continuing our series on values here. We've touched on two of the company values and our third today, which I have written right over here because I like to get them verbatim. We listen first before sharing our own opinions, and we do our best to hear and understand the beliefs of others. Now, why is this important? Personally, I'll start first. Active listening is something that I really appreciate. You could call it a love language of mine, even though words of affirmation, when you do the little quiz online, what comes up? What is words of affirmation aside from listening, hearing where someone is and saying, I affirm what you're doing, I hear what you're saying, and good on you for doing it. And it does tie in that sort of way. So listening itself, active listening, and actually being present, hearing what someone's saying, means so much to me, and probably to you as well. You know, as a human being, when someone really takes the time to sit down and hear where you're coming from, no matter what the situation is, it's relieving. You know, it's a beautiful thing. To come to the second part as well, we do our best to hear and understand the beliefs of others. Well, you know, that is listening itself as well, right? But doing this first before sharing our own opinion. In this day and age, it can be so easy to just, you know, want to post our own selfie on Instagram or our own live stream on TikTok or whatever platform you're interested in, or just meeting someone on the street and saying, I've got to tell you what I think, because we all think what we're doing is the best thing, right? For the most part, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. But to take this posture first of going, well, I'm going to listen because it's providing service in a way that really means something to people. In the business itself, this is just as important, right? Because in a business setting, you're going to have so many people, whether you're just, you know, a couple of members in your team or hundreds and hundreds of people working underneath you, beside you, potentially above the hierarchy as well. When you see it as just a means of being able to say your position, even though it does have worth and it should be heard, what are we trying to do first? You know, are we trying to listen to other people first genuinely, or are we waiting our turn going, I hope Bob stops talking pretty soon because I want to say my point? We're all guilty of that in some way, right? I have my own podcast over at Word of the Bird, and sometimes I get caught up in that space of going, oh, I've got such of this good point that I can make. I'm just waiting for a gap in conversation. But the quicker we can become aware of that and go, hold on, this is still a person and they're sharing too. Let me hear what they're saying. You know, where can I be the presence of the Lord here, who's always listening to what we're saying? How can I do that to this person right in front of me and potentially hear something that allows me to go, right, well, let me share from my journey, which is what I have the blessing and the privilege of being able to do with you guys here today. Let us know, you know, do you find that these things come up in your own life in some sort of way? How are you with listening? Have you listened to this whole thing? If you haven't, you're probably already gone, right? But would love to hear from those that are still around in those comments section. And until next time, we'll see you then.